Yes, Brunella, by grace, of course, always. That's great. So, I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I was just finishing off with another student, and thank you very much for your patience in waiting for me to start the lesson with you, Brunella. That's very good of you. Thank you very much. So, tell me, what's new for you since last time, since our last lesson together? What is new, Brunella?
Mm, 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 mm. Uh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Brunella.
On Sunday,
on Sunday? Yes. What happened on Sunday? What did you do on Sunday that was interesting that you'd like to tell me about, Brunella?
On Sunday, when because I was free and I didn't work.
Oh, that's good.
I went to the beach.
You went to the beach. Oh, that's wonderful. And did you swim in the sea, Brunella?
Yes.
That's good. You're good at swimming. You're a good swimmer. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the sea.
Yes.
Was wonderful.
Was wonderful.
The water is warm.
No, warm, not hot. No, not hot. No, warm. It wasn't too hot. You didn't burn yourself. It wasn't. Oh, it's hot. No.
No. As
it was nice and warm.
The water is perfect.
Just right. Just the right temperature.
Yes.
Perfecto. 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 Perfect. Oh, that's wonderful. That's good.
There weren't jellyfish.
Sorry, what did you say? There were some fish. Really? There were some fish.
No, there weren't jellyfish.
What kind of fish are you talking about? Sorry, can you write it down for me in the Skype chat? Can you write it for me? The name of the fish? Can you write down? Yes, in the Skype chat, if you can write it for me. Do you know how to write something in the Skype chat? Can you write something down?
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Yes, like that. Jellyfish.
There aren't jellyfish because
no jellyfish. Yes, because
jellyfish can create a problem.
Of course, and, they're dangerous. They can sting you.
There aren't jellyfish.
Oh, well, I'm glad there was no jellyfish then. That's a good thing.
In general, it's common that there are jellyfish, but
yes, usually there are jellyfish.
On Sunday, there aren't.
There weren't. You don't say there aren't. You would say there weren't any jellyfish. There weren't any jellyfish. There we go. Like that. There weren't any jellyfish. That's because it was on Sunday. Now, if today was Sunday and you were looking at the water, then you could say, I see right now that there aren't any jellyfish. That's because it was on Sunday. You could have said that because it was in the present on Sunday. when it happened. So, or even now, if you now look at the water and you don't see any jellyfish, you could say there aren't any jellyfish, you see, because it's happening right now. But because you're talking about what happened before in the past, on Sunday, then you need to use the past tense of the verb to be. And so it's were instead of are. So it's there weren't any jellyfish. Do you see what I mean, Brunella? Yes?
I must use past tense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's right. The past tense of the verb to be.
Yes, and the correct sentence is, can you repeat the sentence?
I wrote it down for you in the Skype chat. If you open the Skype chat and you look at what I wrote in the Skype chat, you know where there's a little voice bubble, like a speech bubble. It's like a square-shaped bubble with a couple of lines, horizontal lines in the middle with a little path that goes down. It's at the bottom of the screen. It's the 1, 2, 3, fourth icon near the center, slightly to the right-hand side. Can you see that little icon, little symbol, which is like a rectangle with two straight lines in the middle? The top one's a bit longer than the bottom one, and then it has a little part going down, and it's the voice bubble. Can you see that little voice bubble? It's a speech. It's the chat. It's to open up the chats, you see?
No, I don't see.
You don't see it. Okay. Are you
because
using...
no, the problem is that I'm using not my computer, but
you're using the phone. With the phone, it's...
and I don't see...
Okay, it's at the top on the left-hand side. So when you tap the screen, and you look at the top left-hand side, and you will see a little symbol. And if you tap that symbol, it should open up the chat. Can you see that? Top left. You see it?
Yeah.
Top left. And when you click on it, it opens up a little chat. But first you need to tap on the screen in the middle for the icons to appear. And then it's the top left-hand side. Not the right side, but the left side. Anyway, that's the way it is on my phone. So normally it should be like that on your phone, Brunella. Can you see it or not? The top left corner. No? Top left, not right, but left.
I see you, but
you can't see. That's okay. Not to worry. Anyway, I'll repeat it again for you, but after the lesson, you'll be able to see the Skype chat when the lesson is finished, and then you'll be able to see what I'm saying now. So, there aren't any jellyfish is the present. So, I'll just indicate next to it so that when you look at it after the lesson, you can see the difference. So, if you say there weren't any jellyfish, that's the past tense, okay? Now, if you say there aren't any jellyfish, that would be the present tense, because are is a present, just like were is the past, you see? So here we go. Are, aren't, and present. That's right there. There we are. So I've written it for you. There weren't any jellyfish is the past, and there aren't any jellyfish is the present, Brunella. Is that good? Is that all right? Okay. But you can see it after the lesson, because after the lesson, you'll see chat, I mean the Skype chat normally, you see, when there's no communication, where there's no video, there's no connection, there's no video call, then you can see the Skype chat clearly. Is that all right, Brunella? Is that good? Yes? So,
Okay. Yes.
tell me.
Okay.
Well, that's good. You told me all about your little, well, what you did on Sunday, your trip to the beach, and you swam, and there were no jellyfish. That's great. That's wonderful. So, what would you like us to talk about in this lesson? Do you have a preference, Brunella? Anything you would like us to talk about? Any topic or subject? What did we do last time? Remind me, what did we do last time? Oh, we were talking about the coronavirus last time. Yes, I remember. Yes, that's right. So, what would you like to talk about today, Brunella? Tell me. What would be interesting? Well, if you have difficulty choosing, I actually have a few topics, both articles and questions, which you can choose from, and that will help you to choose what you would like. So I'm just going to find that for you. It's the best articles. So that's for the articles. So that's when you want to read something, you see, like a text, and then we can discuss the text afterwards. So that's one thing we can do, and I'll send you the link for that, Brunella. So this is the first link, so you can have a look at that. Oh, it's been copied twice, so I just need to remove one example of it. There we are. That should be good. And then the next information that I'm going to send you, the next link, is the 350 best questions. There we are. 350 good questions to ask. And they say it's the only list you'll need. That is to say, if you have this list of questions, normally you won't need anything else. You'll have lots of questions to ask. Isn't that wonderful? So there we are. I'm sending this to you as well. So now, first of all, you need to choose, do you want to read an article and then talk about it? Or do you want to have a look at one of those 350 good questions to ask, and then we can try answering it? You can maybe find something to say about it. You can try and answer it. And I can also try and answer it. So which one do you want to choose? The article, which we both discuss and say what we think of it, or the questions, and you choose the question, and then we both try and answer it. And then we compare our answers to see what the differences are and what similarities there are, to see what's interesting. So what would you prefer, Brunella? What would you like to choose? Can you see the links? Oh, you can't see the links because you can't open the chat. Oh, I forgot. You can't open the Skype chat. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I forgot about that. Well, at least you'll have them for next time. I mean, you'll be able to have a look, and for your homework, you can prepare an article or a question or even both. But that's okay. So for this time, what I can do is to read the questions out to you, and then you can tell me which question you would like us to try and answer. That's a good idea. Are you ready then, Brunella, for me to read the questions? And as soon as you hear a question that's interesting for you, a question you'd like us to try and answer, you say, that's the one, or that's it, or that question, please, or something like that. And then I'll stop, and then I'll write, oh no, I won't write it down because you can't see the chat. I'll just repeat that question again, and then we'll both try and answer it. Should we try and do that, Brunella? Is that all right for you? I read the questions, and you tell me when you hear a question. Oh, sorry. And you hear the question that you like, you tell me that's the question you want to answer. Is that all right? Can we try that? Yes? Did you understand? Yes? Sorry.
Yes. The questions present in the link on our questions.
Yes, I sent you the link, the two links. I mean, one link for the questions, one link for the articles. But if you can't open up the Skype chat, I mean, yeah, no, yes, that's right, the Skype chat, then obviously it'll be difficult for you to read that. But I can read the questions for you. I mean, well, not all 350. Hopefully you'll find a question you like before I read all 350 questions. So I'll keep reading the questions until you find one that you like. Is that okay, Brunella? Should we try that?
The problem is that I don't see the link.
No, it doesn't matter if you don't see it. I will read what it says in the link. I will read it for you. You just need to listen. Is that okay? You just listen to me. All right, Brunella?
Okay.
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 Now, and when I say a question which you like, when I read out a question that you like, you say, yes, that one. That's the one I'd like to answer. Okay. So the first one is, what weird food combinations do you really enjoy? The second question, what social stigma does society need to get over? Question number 3, what food have you never eaten but would really like to try? Number 4, what's something you really resent paying for? Number 5, what would a world populated by clones of you be like? Number 6, do you think that aliens exist? Number 7, what are you currently worried about? Number 8, where are some unusual places you've been to? Number 9, where do you get or obtain your news? And number 10, what are some red flags to watch out for in daily life? Well, that's the first 10. Were there any question? Was there any question there in those first 10 questions that you're interested in, that you would like us to try and answer, Brunella? No? Do you want me to continue? Yes, sorry? I can continue.
Try.
Yes, you try? Yes?
Yes, I try to answer the question about the aliens.
Aliens, yes. Do you think that aliens exist? That's question number 6. Okay. So, just so that you remember what we've done, even if you can't see it now, I'll do a copy paste into the Skype chat. So after the lesson, you can open up the Skype chat and see which question we've already done. And that way we'll remember what we've done and what we haven't done. So, how would you answer that question, Brunella? Do you think that aliens exist?
in my opinion, in the universe.
In the universe,
that,
yes.
That is huge.
Yes.
It's possible that other other creatures.
Other creatures, yes.
Live in other
Are you talking about living on other planets?
In other planets, naturally, not in our system.
Not in our solar system, no. Or
no,
not in our solar system. So you don't believe that on Mars there are little green men called Martians? You don't think that on Venus there are, well, the Venus people? So you don't think it's in our solar system, but you think that outside our solar system, in another galaxy or another space system, that there might be some creatures, other creatures that live.
Yes, it's possible that other creatures live in other galaxy because the universe is very huge.
Very huge. Extremely huge, yes.
And then it's possible that other creatures live far from our planet.
Far from our planet, yes.
But at the moment, isn't possible to have news about this aspect because of the distance are incredible.
Oh yes, amazing.
And then we know news and only our system.
Yes.
And we don't have specific instruments, technical instruments to have news about distance, about the places studied in the universe at the long distance.
Yes, that's right.
But in my opinion, I think that we aren't alone in the universe.
You think we are not alone. You think that there is someone or something that's living, that's out there somewhere in the universe, which is in another place, not in our solar system, another galaxy or space system, because you think the universe is so huge that there might be life somewhere else. Is that right, Brunella?
Yes. I think that these are other creatures.
Let me write that for you so you remember to be careful how to pronounce that. Creatures. Yes.
Creatures. I think that it's possible that other creatures can be different from humans. Because I think that these creatures have a different aspect.
Yes.
From us and from humans in general.
Right. So you think they would not look like us, but they would look different from us. They would have a different appearance, a different aspect.
Yes. And in fact, I think that they aren't green hair or
not green. You don't think it's green?
or strange strange hair, strange hair.
Yes,
Yeah.
strange hair, strange ears, yes. So you don't think there's going to be anything strange like that?
Yes, I think that the aspect of the other creatures is present only in our imagination or in the movies.
That's right, absolutely. You're quite right. There's a lot of science fiction movies, space movies, where we are imagining all sorts of very strange creatures in outer space. But I see what you mean. I mean, I can understand what you're saying, and I know there are a lot of people who would agree with you. They would say, of course, if the universe is so big, then why not have some other creatures somewhere in the universe?
Yes.
So I see what you mean. I mean, it's obviously, it sounds very possible. It sounds like a possibility, theoretically. According to the laws of probability, according to statistics, well, with so many planets and so many systems, space systems, galaxies, etc. Well, yes, I can understand people thinking that. But you see, from my point of view, if I just want to be biblical, okay? If I just want to stick to what the Bible says. Now, you see, the Bible speaks about the creation that God did on earth, but it doesn't talk about any other creation. It just talks about the creation on earth for 6 days. And on the seventh day, God rested. That means he had finished his creation. Everything had been created. But there's no mention of any other creatures on other planets. Now, obviously, we know that in creation God made the heavens, the earth, everything that's in it, the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars. God made everything. But you see, I don't think that God needed to make, and that's why we don't read about it in the Bible, another people elsewhere. Because you see, God is a God of faithfulness, of fidelity, and I don't believe that God has different people on different planets. I believe that God just has one people, the human beings on earth, and God is just faithful to that people, and he asks us to be faithful to him. So in heaven, in the prophetic books that are written in the Bible saying what it's going to be like in heaven, then once again, it doesn't mention that there are going to be other creatures in heaven. It only talks about human beings who are saved, who will be in heaven. So that's another reason why I don't personally think there are any aliens elsewhere in the universe, but that's purely from a biblical point of view. Do you see what I mean, Brunella? Do you understand that? From what the Bible says.
Yes, the question is that I understood the discussion.
That's good. That's very good. And you shared very well as well. You expressed yourself well. You said what you thought. You answered the question according to what you think. And so for you, of course, it's a very good answer. And even though my answer may be different, because I don't think exactly the same thing, you explained your point of view very well. And as we don't have 100% proof, because we haven't visited all the planets of the universe to check if there's life somewhere else, then at the moment it's still a mystery, you see, because it cannot be proved either one way or the other. That is to say, you cannot prove there is life on another planet because you haven't been to another planet where there is life and taken some photos of some creatures, you know, going and brought those photos back, or even a specimen. You haven't brought back an example of an alien, you know, a specimen. Oh, this is the alien from planet blah blah blah. No. So we cannot prove it either one way, that is to say that aliens do exist, and I personally cannot prove it the other way by saying to you categorically with proof that there are no aliens, because I haven't visited all the planets either. So I don't know if there isn't somewhere in the universe another life form. The life form may be different from what we imagine. Like you say, it's probably not like Hollywood, Universal Studios, the films, the movies, the cinema. No. There might be just a simple life form. I mean, plants. That's a life form, you know. Plants is vegetable life, you know, plant matter. They are alive. Plants do live, but in a different way from animals. You see, it's not the animal kingdom, it's the vegetation or plant kingdom. So there might be a very simple form of life, you see, like plants, but that still is a life form. But we do not know. It's a mystery. We can only say what we think, but you spoke very well, Brunella. You expressed yourself really well. How did you find this exercise? Did you find this interesting, helpful, useful for you? Was this a good exercise for you to help you speak, to encourage you?
Yes, yes. It's it's an interesting exercise, and because I have the occasion to to speak and to
Yes.
to communicate. And in addition to tell my opinion about a specific topic.
Right, exactly. That's it, Brunella. Excellent. And you did it really well, so well done. Congratulations. So we still have time for another question. Would you like me to read the next 10 questions, and you can see if there's a question you like in the next 10 questions? If you don't find anything interesting, then of course I can read another 10 for you. So shall we try that, Brunella? Do you want me to read another 10 questions, and you see if there's an interesting question for you?
You read the...
I read the questions, and when you find an interesting question, you either say, stop, that's the one I want to talk about, or you wait till I finished all 10 questions, reading all 10 questions, and then you can choose one of the 10, like you did before when you chose question 6 about whether aliens exist or not. Are you ready then, Brunella?
Yes, I'm ready.
Excellent. Question 11. What movie can you watch over and over without ever becoming tired of it? Question 12. When you are old, what do you think children will ask you to tell stories about? Question 13. If you could switch 2 film characters, what switch would lead to the most inappropriate movies or films? Question 14. What inanimate object, so inanimate means it doesn't have any life, it's just an object like a stone, a brick, those things are not living. So what inanimate object would be the most annoying if it played loud, upbeat music while being used? Question 15. When did something start out badly for you, but in the end it was great? Question 16. How would your country change if everyone, regardless of age, could vote? Question 17. What animal would be cutest if scaled down to the size of a cat? Question 18. If your job gave you a surprise 3-day paid break to rest and recuperate, what would you do with those 3 days? Question number 19. What's wrong but sounds right? And finally, question 20. What's the most epic way you've seen someone quit or be fired?
Question.
Yes.
Yes, I have a difficulty to understand the question. I understood 19 question.
Oh, that's good. Which is the question you didn't understand?
What?
Which question number? Do you remember the question number, or what does it say in that question? Do you remember anything in that question, so I can explain that question to you if there's a question you didn't understand?
I choose 19 question.
Question number 19, you mean?
Yes.
So there was something that you did not understand in question 19? Is that what you were saying?
I understood.
You understood question 19?
Yes. Other questions were difficult
Yes, there
to
were
understand for me.
Yes,
because
that's true.
I have a difficulty to with my listening ability.
Yes.
And yes, and I understood 19 question.
Yes.
19 question is what's wrong?
That's right. But sounds right. So what's wrong but sounds right? So something that is wrong, but it sounds right. So even though it sounds right, in fact, it's wrong. So would you like us to try and answer that question, Brunella? What sounds wrong? No, what is wrong but sounds right? That is to say, when you say it, well, it sounds right, it sounds okay, but in fact, it's wrong. In reality, in real life, it's wrong, but if you don't know about it, just by listening to it, well, it does sound like it could be right, but in fact, it's wrong, in truth. Do you see what I mean? So, do you want to try and answer that question? Can you think of something that's wrong, but sounds right?
In my opinion, sometimes it happens that to respect the law.
Yes. The law. You need to pronounce that word law. That's right. Yes.
It's right, but no, one moment.
That's okay. You can think about it. I'll give you time to think about it. To think about how to answer this question. What words to say, what example to give. You need to think of an example. Think of something.
For example, if a person tells
if a person tells
a lie.
A lie, yes.
A lie.
Yes.
Can be wrong.
Right.
Can be apparently wrong, but sometimes it happens that a person tells a lie sounds right because the person don't create a problem.
Yeah.
and don't create a problem to other people.
Right.
I think.
Yes.
I think that the people in general must be sincerely, but
must be sincere, because sincerely is the adverb describing the verb, but the type of word that describes people is an adjective, because people, it's a noun. So you need the adjective sincere in this case, and not sincerely. Sincerely is if I sincerely think that this is right, you see? That means I think about it with sincerity. But sincere is like a sincere person who is sincere. That is the adjective describing the noun. Yeah.
I think in general, I think the people must be sincere, but
yes,
sometimes it happens that the people can be in every situation sincere because it happens that the person tells a lie. Can be useful to avoid the problems. For example, if a person tells a lie in specific situation, not every time. Doesn't create a pain, a mental pain, psychological pain to other people.
Right, I see what you mean. So it can create psychological pain to other people.
Yes.
Yes. You're going to say yes?
And I think that a person isn't sincere.
The person is sincere, because we talk about a sincere person. I'll just write this in the Skype chat so that you have the information there after the lesson when you look at the notes. So you talk about a sincere person, but a person who is or answers sincerely. That means they answer with all sincerity, to answer sincerely. It's like when you ask somebody, please answer me sincerely. You see, it's the way you answer, to answer sincerely. So there it's the verb to answer with the adverb sincerely describing the verb, whereas you were talking about a person, a sincere person, and so that is the noun, the adjective sincere, describing the noun a person. Do you understand that, Brunella? Yes.
Yes, it's clear.
It's clear now.
That's and I think when a person isn't sincere with other people, it can be wrong.
Yes.
But it sounds right.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, it does sound right. That's true.
Yes. And for this reason, I think, in my opinion, sometimes it happens that a person mustn't be sincere, because it can be useful. Don't tell the truth in every situation.
That's right. They don't tell the truth. That's the person who is not sincere, who doesn't tell the truth. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this situation represents an example of when a person is and in the case of a thing can be wrong but sounds right. The thing is wrong but it sounds right.
Yes.
Because there isn't an absolute concept of sincerity.
Yes.
And then if I tell a lie to other people, to other person,
yes,
it can be usable for the person, for other person. In general, I tell the truth because
of course, yes.
I'm not able to tell the lies. I think that I am a person really sincere. Because, for example, when I tell a lie, I don't change my expression, and for me it's very difficult to tell a lie.
Yes, well, it's better that way because obviously it's bad to lie, so it's better to avoid lying. From a biblical point of view, liars, well, it actually says all liars will end up in hell. So it's, really very severe. And that's the only sin for which it's specified all liars. I mean, when they're talking about murderers, adulterers, etc., and fornicators, they don't specify all. They just say murderers, adulterers, fornicators will go to hell. But then when it comes to the liars, they actually write in front all liars, because you see, some people think that if they tell a little, what they call a white lie, which is just to try and help things, or help somebody, or defend them, or protect them, they think they're doing something right because they think there's some benefit from it, from lying, to help the person, to protect the person, etc. But in God's eyes, it is just as severe if it's a big lie or a little lie. That's why whether the person is a big lie or a small lie, well, hell is the place where the Bible says that liars will be sent. So you see how serious it is to lie, Brunella. You see that it's very serious. It's a very bad thing in the eyes of God, according to the Word of God, the Bible. It's considered very bad.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a big difference between a little lie or big lie.
Well, you see, we tend to qualify things, evaluate things, analyze things, compare things. We say, oh, if the person said just a little lie to help somebody else so that the other person would not be in trouble, you know, we like protecting them, we think we've done a good thing. But in God's eyes, it's wrong. Now, obviously, there's the big lies which can cost people's lives. That's very bad. If by lying it causes the death of a person, that's really serious, of course. But in God's eyes, both are bad and deserve the same punishment, because there's only one punishment for sin. According to Romans chapter 6, verse 23, I'll write that for you in the Skype chat. Romans chapter 6, verse 23, it says, the wages of sin is death. But the good news is that we have, and that the gift of God, the free gift of God, is eternal life in his Son, Jesus Christ. That is the good news, the gift of God. So there is a solution to this sin, to the consequences of sin, which is death. Now, there's no such thing as a little death, a medium-sized death, and a big death. You know, death is death. When you're dead, you're dead. You're not half dead or slightly dead. No. It's the same. So it's the same punishment if it's a tiny little sin, tiny little lie, or the biggest lie that ever existed. It's death. You know, that's the punishment. So the result is the same. That's why we shouldn't lie at all. Not at all. Not even if we're thinking we're helping somebody, protecting somebody, defending somebody. No. It's better not to say anything at all. That you can do, instead of saying a lie. You see? If you can't say something because you think that by saying it, somebody will be in trouble, then it's best not to say that thing instead of saying something else which is different, which is a lie. So you always have the choice of saying something or not saying something. If you prefer not to say it, then it's better not to say it than to make up, you know, something different, which is wrong, which is untruthful, which is dishonest, just because you don't want to say anything about that particular thing. So best not to say anything at all than to say a lie, if you have to choose. Do you see what I mean, Brunella? You understand that?
So and so.
So and so, a little bit.
Yes, I understood general context of this topic.
The general context.
Yes, but I have difficulty to understand the
Yes, difficulty understanding all of it. I mean, if I was to give you an example, for example, if a teacher asks a student if the other student did something wrong. Now, if the student A wants to protect student B, now, if student A lies to try and protect student B, saying, oh no, student B didn't do anything wrong, which would be a lie if the student B actually did something wrong. But what would be better would be not to say